I'm glad to see the diehards who continue to come. We have quite a few apologies. I won't read them all out, but let's just say the apology list seems to be larger than the attendance list. So welcome anyway, and good to see you all. I'm sorry I haven't been attending the Chatswood meetings on the odd Sundays, but believe me, it's a bit hard to get to from where I live, especially when I've got something else back in the barrel that have to be there at 6 o'clock. Anyway, no, sorry. The first item of business actually is a sad occasion. Our member from Queensland, Bruce Canning, passed away just recently, and I know some of you may not know him, but he was the one. His main interest was in minting coins. He basically ran a mint, and he was an expert in dyes and presses and all that sort of thing. And he came up to Coffs Harbour a number of times to give us talks and demonstrations of how he does it. And so he was a really interesting member, and we're all sorry to lose him. So what I'd like you to do is just invite you to stand for a minute's silence, if you wouldn't mind, and remember poor Bruce. Okay, thank you very much. Now, speaking of Sunday meetings, the next meeting is on Sunday the 20th of April at Chatswood RSL at the usual time, a quarter to 11, and this time the topic is on Canada. Canada's of course in the news. It's been sorely oppressed by the Trumpian America.
The new Prime Minister looks like he's ready for the battle.
That's right. We've just had Justin Trudeau has stood aside, and they've elected a new Prime Minister. What was his name anyway? I've forgotten his name.
Can't remember.
But he's known for being both has been a member of the a governor of the Bank of Canada and also the Bank of England at some point or other. But of course Canada has to have its elections, and the Liberal Party may not get in, in which case he's a very short-term Prime Minister. But at least someone's got to stand up for Canada and about all these tariffs that Trump wants to impose on them. Anyway, so but Canada's history goes right back, as you know, and a lot of interesting coins come from Canada. Obviously got a French part to it, an English part to it. And, yes, so that could be good. Anybody got any coins in Canada we're going to talk about? Bring them along.
All gone.
Yeah, it's a bit of a way away, but they've got a lot of soft spot for Canada. We're competitors basically, Australia and Canada, in the sense we sell the same sort of thing, minerals and stuff we dig up and agricultural produce and so on. But
my son's still
Canada is a huge country, both geographically and also it's got a population of about 40 million, so well ahead of Australia. Okay, so Canada. I mentioned about the ANS conference is on, Sanctuary Resort in Coffs Harbour. May well be the last one, I don't know. We're struggling to get enough members to come, but we've got enough Rod things to justify it.
We have 15 so far.
Yeah, good. So
and
more the merrier. If anybody's teetering on the edge.
Kevin Duffy from Redlands, the Redland Coin Club, or Phil.
That's right, Redlands.
Stamp and Coin Club up there. Yeah. Emailed me and said, oh, he might get another couple.
Yeah, well,
because he's trying to promote it, and there's a couple who are interested, so we might get more than 15, which would be good.
Anyway, but it's only going to be, it's not
just
a
need
long
a
weekend
talk
this time.
From you.
It's only going to be a day and a half really, so essentially you get there Friday night and Saturday and then half of Sunday and then go home, have lunch and then go home. So if anybody would like to go but they haven't got transport, I'm going, so I'll have a spare seat in my car.
I haven't got transport, but
it's on offer. Okay, so there's that. I noticed wants to advertise the Stamp and Coin Expo Thursday the 20th, Sunday the 23rd of March at Wentworth Park Sporting Complex, free entry. So is that going to be a fairly big affair, Wentworth Park? Who knows?
It's mainly stamps,
Mainly
but there's
That's all right.
a few coin dealers. I know Wynyard Coins are going, and I think there might be one or two others. Pacific Rim might have a stand there.
And we've got a lot of notes too that we've got our next term deposit maturing on the 15th of March, which will be renewed and at a much better interest rate than used to be able to get.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Next Monday, Tony and I head off to see Westpac to renew a term deposit that matures on Saturday. So on Monday we'll go and renew it for another 11 months.
Yep.
We were getting 4.8, and this time we'll get 4.6.
Yeah, well, interest rates hopefully are going down, but not much.
Yeah.
So yeah, not much. It's hard to know what all this Trump tariff business is going to do to inflation. We'll see. Okay, with those business details out of the way, I'd like to invite Jim to give us his usual presentation for the state of the coin market and numismatic market, and also show us some goodies from the March auction.
Thank you, David. Welcome, members, and if there's any visitors. The sale this year is on, our first sale this year is on very early. In fact, it starts next week, on Tuesday, the 18th. Goes for 4 days, 3 nights, and finishes on Friday with the 2:30 session, which will probably finish around 5 o'clock, or 4:30. Basically,
Across the road.
it's in the State Library, the Dixon Room. Maybe the last time we can use that because they're doing a lot of renovations and alterations there. So the availability of the room may be restricted, although I've advertised it for future sales, and we'll try our best. But also Easter falling in the middle of April made it hard, and then to get a booking I had to go early, and of course going early means I had to finish like hell to get things done, and then it made it tight for the production of the catalogue. Then the printer had a problem with both the pre-press and then with the printing machinery, so we lost a few days. And now Australia Post have helped us lose another day because they undermanned at the moment, and they couldn't pick it up even though it's ready. So you have to book it before 10 each day, so they'll pick it up tomorrow. And usually people locally get it within the next day, and interstate going by express post they'll get it. But that's the catalogue. It's quite heavy. It's got a gem on the front, which I'm about to talk about, and 2 guineas on the back cover. So it's a nice sale. Estimates total $3 million. There's 3,439 lots, and a good spread of material. And so without any further ado, because I don't want to speak for too long, we'll get started. And the catalogue follows the usual format that we have when we have in-room auction. We start with miscellaneous Australian coins and go through to misstruck coins, which are always interesting. The first one I wanted to show was lot 66 because it's a mule halfpenny from the Pridmore collection. Now, Pridmore's comment on his ticket is fabrication ? But because he was a prodigious collector of Indian coins, British Commonwealth coins, and this was in his sale in one of his lots of stone that I bought long ago. And the usual date for a mule halfpenny is 1916.
Yeah.
This is 1917, and it's quite flat on the obverse, so yeah, it's strong on the reverse, so one wonders how it was made and why someone made it with the date 1917. It could be a genuine product, who knows. But there it is for sale with an estimate of $200. Nice problems. could be getting a bargain if you get it for 200 and you prove it right. Nice to have that pedigree because he was collected such a long time ago. Anyway, the next one I wanted to show is a misstruck halfpenny from the Perth Mint. It was given by Geoffrey Robinson, who was in charge of the Perth Mint, to Ray Jewell, who gave it to me. It was in sale 37. And it's stored in a little container to protect it, even though Vivi now's mounted in a normal card. I said, I don't want that piece of dye to slip out of it. When it was struck, and misstruck many times, the dye got chipped off and stuck in the planchet. You see there on the right, that clump there, that's actually a part of the steel die. But storing it in a little box to protect it, it had a sponge rubber underneath. The sponge rubber's deteriorated and gone onto the reverse of the coin. That's why you see in the photo it looks like it's diseased. I'm sure it'd come off if you treated it or something, but I didn't want to touch it. But it's a wonderful, unique piece. And misstrikes, as you know, Australian misstrikes in particular, are very, very popular. The next one is a British misstrike. And this is of a half crown, 1881, full obverse brockage. So you can see the date on the coin, because it's under the bust. Nice condition, and that's estimated at $400. There are a couple of other English misstrikes. So then after that, we go through decimal coins. I don't want to show you any decimal coins. We have the third session commencing at, let me see, obviously the second session includes at the tail end of it some New Zealand coins and tokens and a New Zealand patent penny. Then the third session starts at 2:30, and I thought I'd show you a lump of gold, since gold's the hot topic these days. This is from an estate. It's an ingot of 100 grams by Matthew Garrett. So it dates back quite a few years. Some people are now collecting ingots as a hobby.
Where did that come from?
So it's $11,000 is the estimate.
Is that got a stamp of a mint or anything on
Yeah, Matthew Garrett. It says Matthew Garrett on the reverse. It says 4 9s, 100 grams, and its serial number is number 119. Matthew Garrett, as you know, were the ones who made those commemorative medals in 1970 for Captain Cook and then for the Opera House in 73, etc.
Yeah, well, gold's value of gold shot up tremendously this year. Yeah,
No,
it has.
the next one I want to show you is this piece on the front cover. It's really a wonderful piece. The man who bought it from the Dr. Chapman sale back in 2008 lives in Sydney, and he decided to sell it. He's done more research on it. We've got a full page devoted to it. The front of the box is inscribed on a silver plaque, presented by His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all the Russias, to D.J. Williams, Esquire, MD, surgeon to HIM, which is Her Imperial Majesty's yacht, Queen Victoria. So Queen Victoria and Nicholas I were good friends. I won't go into it, but you know, the Doctor was a great help. And this gem is an amethyst, surrounded by diamonds, mounted on a golden eagle and other enamel pieces that look like emeralds. And see, it's brooch mounted. It was attached originally. There's a photograph that exists of the ribbon, because he was awarded with the Order of St Anne, so it's attached to the ribbon, and the Order of St Anne's just a plain Maltese cross. So this is a unique item. It sold for $52,000 in the sale 88, 2008, July
Not by the
2008.
famous Russian jeweller, is it? What's his name?
No, it predates
Fabergé.
Fabergé.
Yeah.
It predates Fabergé. It's actually issued and presented in 1847.
Oh, okay, that's quite early.
Very important piece historically. He did a lot of work in Australia. Well, he came to Australia. He was an Englishman who went on to come and live in Melbourne. And it came down through the family and came on the market in the 1950s with someone who sold it to John Chapman. He had in his collection a fabulous collection of medals, which included the Charlotte medal, as you remember, sold in 2008 for 750,000. So it's a great piece to be admired. So I'll put that away. Unless people want to look at it, they can. Anyone want to look at it? Thinking of buying it?
No, I'll look at that.
Yeah. I'll send it up there.
Judy would love it, I'm
A
sure.
very, really, historic.
I meant to get out another nice medal. This is a medal that was originally in a Downey's auction,
Fantastic, yeah.
early Tasmanian medal from 1858. It looks to be gold, but it's actually gold plated. Very early for Tasmania, Hobart Town. It's nicely engraved. I've got another one which has been specially put in a box or something, so I couldn't find it.
Where are the two Charles Squirrels?
Yeah, it's absolutely a wonderful thing. We have a lot of Chinese ceramics in the sun. I'm not going to show you those that belong to Ken O'Brien, who was a member of the MCC, and he had a good knowledge of these things. In Australian historical medals, there's lot 478, which is an interesting medal because it's to do with Gallipoli. 478. It says Marshal Lyman B. Sanders Pasha, 1916, in silver, by Lauer, commemorating the Turkish victory over the Anzac forces at Gallipoli. So how about that? That's an interesting medal. Awarded to a Turk for their victory over the Aussies in
the invaders, yes.
Yeah. But it was in our auction 33 and then sale 40. So it's still in its original condition, beautifully toned. And you don't see it coming up. It's by that German maker Lauer. It's a very... Who we got here?
Ross?
Ross arrived.
Ross.
I don't know.
Yes, B.A. Ross, I think. It is. I don't know where you're going to sit.
Next to David.
Oh, okay. Oh, why? Is it safe in the street?
No, not really.
You have to pay in the street.
Do you really?
Not my money. I had to cancel our cards.
This seat's very well.
They're right back.
Well, at least your hair's done nicely. Anyway, don't put that on YouTube.
Everything's on YouTube. You've said it, it's there.
You've got to be careful what I say. So, that's a good section of historical medals. It includes one that I wanted to show because our friend Howard Hodgson was here the other day and I couldn't find this medal in time to show him because it was packed in the bag and it was he wanted to see it. He's was here for our previous meeting at Chatswood.
Yeah,
Gave
came
me
to
a
the
good talk.
Chatswood meeting.
Talked
And,
about these Sydney Mint medals.
Yep.
So I said, I've got this one in the auction, which is Edward the 7th, but it comes with the green Royal Mint Sydney branch green box. And I said, well, that may relate to a George V one.
475.
Yeah, lot 475. And but it was in the box, but it may be that someone collecting it put a George V one in the box. We don't know when the boxes were first used. But with the George V ones, when the mint closed, a number of staff were given medals with their names engraved on the edge, and there is one in the sale. Which he's got all that research. He knows when they started and when they finished and everything.
Yeah, the
Not
story.
amazing. He's a great.
It was a great story at the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
meeting
Yeah.
last month.
Yeah, he's a great researcher, and it was interesting to have him here to look at a couple of the things we had, which I've got to show tonight. And no doubt he'll watch the YouTube video you do.
What was the estimate?
The estimate. Yes, Graham.
I shouldn't have asked.
I've got to try and remember everything.
470.
I think it's about 500, but
5.
is that okay for you?
750.
750, sorry. Well, the box must be worth 250. Well, how many people have got the box?
Or the coin. Oh, the medallion.
Yeah, it's in nice condition.
Good.
Have you shown the other side?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You can pop it back in the box
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's in good condition.
yeah.
There you are, Howard. It's one for you.
I think Howard already has one, doesn't he?
Yeah. Other
Right.
George V, but not.
He's got the George V, yeah.
So put it in this box, pack it, wherever it is. Yeah.
Plastic bag.
Yeah, put it in there and make use. Good. Now, there are Australian coins in the 4th session, Australian Commonwealth. But I thought I'd show you because you're all keen to get one. I'll show you a 1930 penny, which is not in a slab and you can actually.
I haven't seen one of them for a few weeks.
Yeah, just got to be careful. I've got a couple of slabs here to talk about too.
That's good condition. Very.
That was bought from Jaggers, as you can see from the packet it was mounted with. Estimate's 18,000.
It's quite nice condition.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever had one.
The next one is one that was in M.R. Roberts' first auction in 1976, and there's a photo of it, obverse and reverse, signed by one David Allen, 1976. So it's nearly 50 years ago. Someone let Ross in? Or someone?
It's Ross coming back in.
Yeah.
I'll press the button. Oh, you can press the red button.
I don't want people falling over. There's a health hazard, this place. Stuff everywhere. The place I'm going will be here till midnight.
Oh well. You have to speed up or
I
show
said-
less.
Yeah, I was going to show less, but you start looking. Oh, yeah, that really should show that, etc., etc. And then, of course, you spend a lot of time filming them. Anyway, that's a nice 1930 penny, very nice grade. Sale number 1 of M.R. Roberts in 1976. So, estimate's 18,000. And it says sold with a letter and everything. And I asked the widow of the owner, late owner, and she found it and brought it in on Saturday.
Very nice.
That was good, wasn't it? Okay, so now I've got an Australian gold, Adelaide Assay Office. I don't know, Adelaide pound. I thought you'd like to see one. I know you're saving for them. This is the start of the night session on the Tuesday at 7:30, and it's lot 621, and it's estimated at 16,000. There is another one in similar condition, estimated at 14.
Cheaper than the 1930 penny then.
Yeah,
Maybe.
we'll see how they go. Here's an interesting consignment came in from somebody that left it with Simon before I got into work. And a man lives in the Northern Territory, and he had all these interesting coins, apart from authentic ones, he had some, and Simon said, "Where'd you get your coins?" We said, "David G." So there's a cracked die pound. It's lot. I was showing these to Harold Hodgson because he was very interested to see what they were like, how they were made. Lot 624, is it, Rodney? Yeah. It's estimated at 2,000. It weighs 8.78 grams, and the cracked die is, on the reverse, is quite pronounced. There's a bubble sort of formed there, so it's slightly different from the other two that we've got in the sale. So I thought I'd show them all to you and record a bit of history.
So this is one of his forgeries, was it?
Yes. A copy. Here's another nice one, 625, which is weighing 8.12, and the die crack is not as pronounced. They're very good. But just that I can tell from the style of the formation of the letters and the date figures that they're not quite the real McCoy. But they're subject to a special section in the National Collection in Canberra at the Mint. So these are like collectibles. They seized everything in the court case, but obviously some were sold earlier. And so they've become collectible.
Probably harder to get than the originals.
Yes. But the most spectacular one from the collection was this set of Port Phillip gold. 2 ounce, 1 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, with milled edge. This lot's estimated at 16,000. Remembering it's got 3 3/4 ounces of gold in it. And it's good gold. And Howard said, how did they get the milled edge? I mean, you need a collar for that. You go, so, well, he was friendly with the mint master in Canberra, and probably with someone else, people at Stokes. I don't know how they got it done.
Bruce Canning made milled edge medals as well, because he had a special machine that went around and milled it.
Usually the milling is impressed by a collar when it's struck. Anyway, that's an interesting set. There is another set with a private collector, which he got from David G, which cost him a lot more than our estimate.
What do we have on this?
16,000.
What's the gold value?
Well, 3 3/4 ounces, so nearly 4 ounces. It's about 16,000.
Yeah.
That's right. That's going for gold value, basically.
Yeah.
And then he also has these shillings. This one is lot 629, which is a fantasy shilling dated 1858. Copying the reverse die of W.J. Taylor, WJT there under the 1 near the rim, near the outer circle, and on the other side is the portrait trying to copy William Wyan, but pretty poor attempt. Dated 1858. Why 1858? I don't know. There are 4 of these shillings in the sale, estimated at 1,500 each. They weigh 11. That one you looked at weighs 11.61. I didn't get any others out. I thought I did. Oh, what's happened there? I didn't. There is one with a Weiner type obverse. I thought I got it out. Oh, there it is, 632. There's 632. Copying Weiner's obverse die. This weighs 11.57. So they're funny how the weights vary. This one, the second one, only weighs 8.45, so it must be a much thinner flange. I've called them fantasy pattern shilling, struck in gold with milled edge for David G. What else could you say? I mean, they're not official coins, the originals even there. And the Port Phillip thing was a private venture, not government. So you couldn't be had up for forging. coins on that basis, they're not coins really. There's a slab coin here. It's a 1855 Sydney Mint Sovereign, which I know you all want to buy, being the first year. It's in nice condition. It's graded as AU 55, which I called it nearly extremely fine and rare in this condition. 15,000 is what the owner wants, so you've got to pay that for it. Otherwise, you won't get it. The next one I've actually got a customer for it, lot 637, it's an 1857 Sydney Mint Sovereign. And it's estimated at 5,000. Considerable mint bloom, good, extremely fine, / nearly uncirculated. So the reverse is nearly uncirculated. I forgot to show you the 1855 sovereign that came from the Northern Territory collection, but it's genuine and it's illustrated in the catalogue. I meant to get that out. Everybody's fascinated to see an 1855 half sovereign. This particular coin is an 1858 half sovereign, choice uncirculated, one of the finest known. Lovely condition. It was purchased at the Quartermaster collection where it realised 32,000. We've got it in for 8,000.
What?
The market is probably softer on Australian Commonwealth coins, but not on gold because of gold value. But second-rate gold is not bringing much more than gold. You've got to really have either, and even rare dates are hard to sell, but choice condition coins like that one should sell easily.
Upside down.
Robert Tonner once owned an 1858 half sovereign. He sold in one of my auctions at Windsor about some massive sum,
Yeah, the extravagant collection.
40,000 or 50,000 or something.
You go, that went for 80.
80, yeah. It
Robert gave me-
went to Belinda, didn't it?
Robert gave me about 10 or 12 for it. So he did well. Like to see customers like that.
That's right. That's an interesting date. This is an 1865, not 662. I always reckon it's a really tough date. And it's actually graded as good, very fine, but it's really quite well struck. It's just the wear on the high parts of the portrait. Lot 662. That's one Ross will go for. Almost certainly.
He'll go for all of them, won't he?
Maybe. Now, we jump all the sovereigns because you've seen enough of them over the years. And we go to the half sovereigns. Lot 693 is 1875 in choice uncirculated. Probably the finest, and from the Quartermaster collection.
Shield reverse.
Yeah, nice grade, beautiful coin. Estimate's probably quite ambitious. Let me see. 8,000. So this next coin is magnificent. It's also 8,000. Lot 695. It was purchased from the Rare Coin Company. It's got the tag with it. And then Windsor and Sons, and previous to that it was with Windsor and Sons, and then previous to that it was with Pink Australia in 1978. One of the ones I bought for $40 each. At any rate, it's sold by the Rare Coin Company. The price tag's 52,000. They were a great investment promoters, weren't they?
Yeah.
Pity it didn't keep going up, Ross? Just keeps going up.
Didn't know you paid $40 each for them. I kept on coming across the Harbour Bridge and getting one. I won more than $40. Lot more.
Well, I think I was selling them for
What, 200?
175 or something. I had to buy. I had to buy 40. Maybe they cost me 100 each. I got them from Ray. Got them from Stuart Wright, who
Yeah.
didn't know much about coins at the time. This little lot. Lot 705 coming up is a mirror-like choice uncirculated 1893 Melbourne Jubilee head. Hard to imagine that maybe it was once a proof, you think. It's estimated at 4,000. So that type was issued in 1893, and the same year, 1893, it was the Queen's 60th. Well, not the 60th. The Queen got older, and she's wearing a veil. They call it the old head. 1893. That was lot 705. This is 706. This is 1893 Sydney. I've graded that as choice uncirculated and one of the finest known. It's a lovely coin, estimated at 3,000. At the end of the Australian gold coins, we come upon patterns and proofs. The first one I'm going to show is a Sydney Mint £2 fantasy pattern £2 in gold, milled edge, from cloned dies for David G. As the story goes, he managed to borrow unauthorised borrowing of the dies from the Dixon collection for £2 and £5, and he got them repaired, made a copy die. So it's a bit shallow in the strike on the obverse, but it's quite interesting how it's made. It's estimated 2,500, weighs 16.07 grams. Something wrong with it, isn't there, in the portrait in the face? The version is not quite right.
It's looking very down there, isn't it?
Especially under the eyes.
Yeah.
Just look like she's had a
Well, once these
night
people, it's very hard to imitate the perfect engravers, you know, how they do things. This is a £2 of Edward VII, Sydney Mint in silver. It's estimated $500. It'd be interesting to see what these sell for. Am I promoting forgeries? Well, no, I'm saying what they are, but what people do with them afterwards I can't control. Again, they're collectible.
What estimate do you have on this one?
500.
500.
Then we have lot 716, which was a fantasy pattern penny of Edward VIII in silver, 1937. Curious thing, why it's made. Must have cost him a lot to get all this work done by someone. We've seen these things occasionally illustrated in Rennick's, his old publications. I think, look at that, Edward VIII. Of course, an Edward VIII Australian penny doesn't exist. They never made one. He was friendly with Mr. Henderson at the Mint in Canberra. I've seen them on display at the Mint, but this is one of those 1 cents of Queen Elizabeth with a kookaburra. This one is struck in gold, plain edge, 3.79 grams. You're seeing things you haven't seen before, eh?
Yeah.
That's estimated at $800. They'll all be saying, oh, let me buy this one and then you can bid on that one.
Have to have something from the G collection, don't you?
Now, we move on after the session at night to go into the morning of Wednesday, 9:30, where we have miscellaneous items, including documents, and there's a Yuri Gagarin signed black and white photograph, which I meant to have in an earlier sale. Belongs to a Russian friend who lives in Port Douglas, and it's signed in I'm not sure when he signed it, but he was killed in 1968 during a training flight. But he was the first to man in space, performing a single orbit of the Earth in Vostok 1 capsule. So there's the photo of him there, illustrated in the catalogue. Then we go through various things of Ken O'Brien's, the Sung dynasty, Ming dynasty, ceramics. Bob Clemson was looking at this one here, and I said, Bob, that looks impressive. Oh, it's estimated 2,000, the highest estimate on this stuff. He said, I'm not sure if it's right. I said, well, I suppose if it's right in Ming dynasty that old, it's probably worth a lot more, hasn't it, surely? We don't know, we'll find out.
Yeah.
He was a pretty astute buyer of these things and went to the right places to get them. Made a lot of notes on them. So there's a lot of pages devoted to it. That's a modern one that was in the last sale. Chap bought it and he wanted to put it back up again. People are weird. But there's a lot of bronzes as well, and from Tibet. Quite impressive lot of stuff. But you can see it if you want to come and view it, but I'm not showing you tonight. But there's even Russian icons from the old Russian collection. And then I've got paintings, including a James Gleeson one painted in 1938. It's at the front there, you can see it. It's quite large, estimated 23,000. Was sold by Deutscher and Hackett 2010 for 36,000. And there's a Donald Friend that was up at Agnew's in London and sold in the Deutscher and Menzies sale. And then there's these Hungarian paintings by a Hungarian artist who lived in Australia. They're about 100 to 200 each. Oil paintings, so you pick up a bargain. Then there's odd things, silverware. There's even a Hasselblad camera, and there's a vintage French horse racing parlour game. And there's a table orrery, and there's a music box. A lot of curious stuff. Then the 7th session at 11:30 is war medals. So we won't talk about those, even though we've talked in the past about them. And at the end of that session, without having its title in the order of sale, so you'll miss it, is a collection which I know all you people are keen on, especially Ross, a collection of model cars formed by a recently deceased collector. And they're corgis, all sorts of corgi, classic collectibles. They go from lot 1076 to 1117, so about 40 odd lots, and interesting. It was part of a coin estate. I said, yeah, I'll take it. The guy had a van, so he drove down from the Central Coast a couple of times with it all. It's over in the next office if you want to view it. Anyway, then we go on to world coins. And one of the interesting consignments in the auction is a collection.
1152.
Yeah,
1152.
Yeah, 1152. Yeah. So that came into me. Frank Wiener, he was a customer in the 70s, and I bought a couple of Chinese coins for him because he didn't spend much. At that famous sale I had in 1978, a collection of one of the Baldwins, and everybody came to the sale. It was dealing in Chinese coins. It's a fantastic collection. At least you know these are right, because they were formed before the Second World War. And Frank died. His partner held onto the collection for maybe 20, 30 years, and then she gave it to his nephew, who brought them in one day. So he's got a few sovereigns. He ended up having all these gold coins and stuff. And I knew the name. And I said, he said, yeah, that's right. He worked for Keep Brothers, which is an old Birmingham trading firm. He bought this one, which was a silver tail of the Hugh Pay problems. Lovely original
silver
condition.
tail, yeah.
Which weighs more than an ounce, of course. Done in 1904. It was from our sale in 1978. How many of you went to the sale in 1978? None.
Must have been before.
I can't remember back that far.
Did
You in
go,
O'Connell
Did
Street
you go,
then?
Ross?
Where? Which sale?
The Chinese sale in 1978 at the Wentworth Hotel. Oh, you missed something there.
No, I was all there. No,
So it was the one where Dick Nelson yelled out $10,000 on a coin selling for about 1,000. And Mr. Liddell was so offended he put his hand up and kept bidding. Bought it for 11 or 12,000. And that time was a lot of money. But Dick Nelson was from Hong Kong and he had to have the coin, obviously, for a client, but he didn't get it. It was a silver dollar, dragon dollar. Incredible. I remember that incident so well. And the next one he bought at the sale was birds over junk dollar. So I thought, this is right. So I studied it. I thought, got to remember what the birds look like.
Yeah, with the planes over the junk.
Yeah, the geese. And we've got another one, but I haven't been entirely happy with it. So I didn't want to list it up against this one. This nice original mint bloom, but it's dusty, you know, it's been sitting in an old cabinet for decades. So that's one of Frank's again. And it's estimated at 5,000, so I think you can make money if you get it for that. Mind you, he paid only $100 and something for him, 78. They weren't expensive, but they are now. This is a fantasy dollar of Emperor Kwang Siu. It's Khan number 13. I'm not sure where he bought this. I couldn't find it in our 1978 sale, but he might have bought it from London. It's the dragon on that side, and then the other side, the portrait of the Emperor. This is estimated at $500. $11.62 is a set of 3 Japanese puppet state Manchukuo coins, patterns, and they're listed in KM under PN2, but she photographed them in one picture, and when Yanni tried to lay them up properly, he had to cut something out, and they've got cut straight edges on them in the catalogue, but here you can see they're normal coins. I was impressed with those. They look pretty close to being real. So the rest of the world coins are interesting. There's collections from Stephen Roberts of Hong Kong and Dansko of Supreme Albans and South Africa. This one. This is the other side. His collection of Hong Kong included, would you believe, a 1941
cent.
But it's not in the album because it's in a slab. So you can show that. Yeah. It's estimated at 5,000. Stephen Turner.
Not as good as my one that you sold for 21,000.
Isn't it? Well, yours was a proof, was it?
Yeah, mine was 21,000 it got, which was in the Melbourne auction in '08. Yeah,
Wow.
I thought that too. I said, wow.
This other chap's given me one, but I haven't listed it because I had this one. I didn't want to jeopardise. But when I showed the other one and this one to Howard Hodgson, because he's very interested in the story behind these coins, he told me all about them, how some were lost and some. He's got good detail, and he said that he looked at the other one. He said, "Yeah, I think it's all right." So maybe I'll have to review my thinking.
It's nice. It's estimated there's only 15 survived, so yeah. 15 of the 5 million. The rest became bullets.
Is there another slab there or what?
No, just
No, okay. I thought I got the 5 cents, but I probably didn't. Okay, so this next one's very important to Graham Howard. Got 1282. It's in the World Coins under USA. And it's a Louisiana Dakeman Brothers bread token. Decagonal in brass. Good for one loaf of bread. Reverse legends in French. And I had it in my collection, but it wasn't in the sale, so I thought it's going in this sale. And look at the price Laurie Nugent had on it. These cards, way back in the 70s or even the 60s, 1950. So that's one you have to have. It's only estimated 750. God knows what I swapped him for it. Probably a whole lot of star notes or something. I remember in the early days in O'Connell Street, I did a deal with him. I think I had about 200 Coombs Randall $1 notes. The next one I'm showing is a beautiful condition, beautiful looking thing. Iridescent colours, just a Morgan dollar. Mint bloom, choice uncirculated. It's from our sale 65. It's got a $100 estimate on it. Look at the colours on it. Lovely natural toning. It's 1886.
that's not bad.
The other side's got even more brilliant colours on it. Yeah.
No, only one side has the toning. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's got toning in the photo. It shows a whole. Look at the colour in the photo.
Little bit, yeah. Not as good as the obverse.
Yeah, it depends where it's been sitting. One of my regular customers came in and Simon served him and he said, "The catalogue's $50. Simon said yes, so he paid for it. And that was a nice thrill. To be able to sell a catalogue. This is a gold coin from the Guiana's collection of the Austrian Netherlands, the Joseph II Sovereign d'Or, Souverain d'Or, they say, 1786. Is that 86 or 56?
56.
Yeah, that's a mistake in the catalogue. The French one to
56 if you
Yeah,
right.
1756. So what's happened is I've written, and the one before it he's got 1786. I've written a 5 that looked like an 8 to him when he's typed it.
Oh, it might be 86.
No, not if it's Joseph.
No,
It's-
it's 86.
It's 86.
It's 86, look at it. Yeah, it is 86.
It's 86.
Which Joseph was that? Show us the picture of it on the other side.
Let's see the date there, David? Up there,
Yeah, what is that? It looks 86, doesn't it?
yeah. Oh, so it is right.
What's the...
You stand corrected, El Presidente.
What's the...
Don't go Trump on me.
Show the other side. The other side. Huh?
It's fake news.
nice coin, isn't it? Hey, that's Vietnamese, is it? I guess. Yeah. So,
Have a look under a glass.
Yeah, that's right, it's 86. I can see him even in the photo. It's 86. Don't know why David queried that. Because it looked at one stage when we were looking at it like a 5.
okay, Joseph the second, that's it.
Just depends on how the light is
Joseph
shining.
the second.
Second, yeah. So, he must be the son of,
Joseph the first.
no, son of Maria Theresa.
Yeah,
I think, got to be that bad.
yeah. Well, she was around in 1780, we know that. This is a coin that came from another estate, and it's quite badly mounted on the obverse, but it's an interesting one from Brabant, for Albert and Isabella of Spain. Issued around 1600 to 1611 in the Antwerp mint. It weighs 6.85 grams, so it's got $1,000 estimate. One David may or may not have.
Being used as jewellery, has it? That's some sort of,
Yeah. Pity, really.
so that was sold right up the top, is it?
Sold at the top and bottom, yeah, on the obverse. So I'd say it had a brooch pin mount on it or something, and that's come away. You know how the brooches. This is an interesting Chinese one for Rodney to study. You can translate the Chinese characters for me. And on the reverse, there's I've just called it a fantasy cash coin in gold, 10.97 ounces, handcrafted cast, question mark, nearly uncirculated. It could be gold plated too. It's very tricky when things are gold plated, because silver and copper can be quite heavy, and you.
Gold's twice the weight of copper though.
So
That's all.
I think it's gold. Well, you should buy it as gold. 1381 is an interesting coin. It's fantasy $5. Zodiacal mythology theme on the obverse. A private modern minting, 8.25 grams. I mean, a US $5 coin on the reverse. Pretty good style, isn't it? United States of America.
An S mint mark.
The estimate's 1,000. 8.25 grams.
Oh no, it wasn't S, it says $5, 5D, yeah.
Yeah. It's copying the coin. This one here, I think 1382. It's from the wreck of the Nostra Senora de la Puglia, sunk in 29th of July 1715 off the Florida coast. So it was in the Christie sale in 1987 and then went to Barry Windsor at M.R. Roberts with his ticket there. So it's estimated at 1,500. A gold 2 escudos of Colombia. Interesting coin. Weighs 6.77 grams. Quite collectible. This is a France Louis XVIII, 14th, sorry, EQ dollar, 1680. From Frank Wing's collection. Estimate 1,200. At this rate we'll be going for another hour. We better speed up, eh? Cut some hour, yeah. This next coin, it's the pattern for a gold coin in copper, showing the Emperor Napoleon. It was by G. Vassallo at the Genoa Mint in Italy. Estimate $750. 1807.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to read the 7. It looks a bit hard to read. Looks like a 3 almost.
Could be.
It's a 7. Yeah, they're a known pattern. There was a recent sale at Stacks of New York dealer from New Jersey, Richard. What was his name? Richard Margolis, and he had a couple of them that helped me describe the catalogue. 1396 is Napoleon, 40 francs, 1806. Estimate 1600. Old value, really.
Yeah. We don't see the 40 francs so much as the 20 francs.
Yes. 1413 is a French Napoleon III, 100 francs. It's estimated at 3,000. The next one is one of those ones people like. It's a German East Africa Gold 15 European, made in the local mint in German East Africa in Tabora. Quite crudely made in a fashion. Very popular coin, like Adelaide pounds and that sort of thing. 1916. So we clashed with the Germans in East Africa in World War I. In fact, I sold a Victoria Cross to an Australian who won it in East Africa in 1983. I sold that.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, 42 years ago. Is that right? Yeah, 42 years ago. This is a Indian gold mohair in Victoria. We have two in the sale. This is lot 1431. Divided legend type. It was previously in Dr. Colin Burnside's collection. He bought it from our sale 62. It's estimated at 7,500. They're very popular now. Used to be able to buy them reasonably. Once upon a time, I could go into Sphinx and see there's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
You can get them for like £300 or something.
Didn't Roy von Bock have a lot of these?
Yes, that's what we sold. You remember well.
They're bigger than a sovereign. They're about a sovereign and a half, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yes.
11 grams. 11 points. That one weighs 11.656 grams. So that weight must have been recorded by whoever catalogued it earlier, because ours only goes to 2 decimal places. Oh, I didn't show you the it's in a slab, the 15 rupees of India, estimated 5,000, towards the fifth. This is a Napoleon again, but from Milan in Italy, the Kingdom of Napoleon it was called.
1812.
Yeah. Kingdom of Napoleon.
Was that 20? That's a 20 lira.
40 lira.
40 lira.
40 lira?
Yeah, 40 lira. Estimate 2,000. There were 2 10 liras if you can't afford to go for 20. Then proceed it. And this is nice one, Mexico, Emperor Maximilian. You know you get the silver coin, but how often do you get the 100 pesos in gold? It's estimated 5,000. 1866.
Well, old Nelson again, eh? Ended up in front of a firing squad.
Did he?
Yeah, yeah. That's right. It's a big revolution in Mexico at the time, and he was the opposition.
Yeah.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was a cousin of Franz Joseph of Austria.
He's bound to be tied up with the war. Now, I'm showing you a US coin because it comes from Frank Wiener's collection. He happened to have one, a $10 or Eagle of 1892, but CC, Carson City mint, and they're scarce. So it's estimated at 2,000 instead of 1,600. Could bring more. You get the lot for that one.
1452. Right.
This is lot 1523. And if we look at the reverse, you can see the mint mark, CC under the eagle.
CC, Carson City.
Carson City, that's a fairly rare mint.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
It's down on the other side of the mountain from Lake Tahoe, Carson City.
There's some medallions and things been put in by a member who lives out. He's got a garden, he's getting elderly, couldn't come in, I got his stuff picked up, but he's bought a lot of medallions and things. And he had some relating to the Suez Canal. This one's for the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869. Bob was looking at these yesterday. He said, well, these ones in white metal, but none, I said, they're still Suez Canal, Bob.
How is Bob anyway?
He's okay. He's like normal Bob, almost.
Oh, right.
Just, you know, he takes life easy, he doesn't stress, he doesn't initiate anything really. But he knows what he's doing, knows what he's doing, he reads, and yeah, it's good to, I try to get him in each week, but I said, when you're coming back to work, do the best coin photos. He laughs. He's always been a shy boy now, Bob. This big medal, I thought I'd show you, it comes from our Russian collection. It's quite an impressive large thing for the marriage of Nicholas II and Alexander Fedorova. So they're the ones that got executed, isn't they? This is in 1894 in silver. Extremely fine and rare.
Is that the silver anniversary, I think?
It's a Diakov number I got on it. It says R3. What does it say? Marriage medal.
Marriage, we've got married late then as well.
See there, there's the marriage ceremony. Impressive medal. It's only 1,500. Then a couple of satirical medals for the USA. The presidential campaign. This is a Bryan dollar in 1896. The man wanted the world to go to silver standard. To heck with gold. I wish he'd have been right. All my silver would have been worth a fortune, but
There was a big debate about this use of silver versus gold in the late 19th century.
it says on the medal, a government dollar contains 412 grains coin silver. This piece contains 823 grains coin silver, in value equivalent to one gold dollar. September the 16th, 1896. It's estimated at 600. It's quite rare in that condition. Nice piece. I might as well tell you it's Bill Fleming. long time member, photographed some of my copper coins long ago. He said he's finding it hard to get around now. I haven't seen him in here for a couple of years or more. The next one's a Brian Money satirical issue in white metal. It says United Snakes of America. In Brian we trust, Reavers. 3 silver, 1 dam, 1896. Quite a curiosity, isn't it? He has another one in the sale which is also in aluminium. So that finishes the historical medals. The evening session on the second day is the 10th session, and it contains English coins. We start with gold, and I want to show you this one. This is the Juxon medal. Guns are going off. Salute. Saluting my talk. This is a £5 piece of Charles I. He had it in his pocket or whatever, and he handed it to Bishop Juxon just before they executed him on the scaffold. And it came up in the Montague collection, and Spinks bought it for the British Museum. It went for a record price. So that's a beautiful electrotype of it, which comes with a specially made case by Spink and Son with an ivory panel saying that it was handed. It says IZM from ACEM, 3rd of September 1935. So I don't know who those initials relate to. I could work it out. But what a lovely thing, eh? Imagine if it was real. It'd be worth about £10 million or something. Anyway, we get back to real coins now. We've got 2 guinea piece of Charles II. What's significant about this lovely coin is that it's minted from gold from Africa, from Guinea, the Gold Coast, Guinea, and that was the first year. It has an elephant under the bust. And it's illustrated in the back cover or so of the catalogue. It's a nice condition.
I said, what you got there in that one?
15,000.
Bargain.
It is a bargain. And then the 1709 Queen Anne 2 guineas. They're also estimated 15,000. It's in nice condition. Not as, I don't think it's attractive in condition of the Charles II, but nonetheless it's a rarer coin.
That's a 2 guinea as well.
Yeah, he's obviously collected 2 guineas and £2 for some I didn't know. Might have bought them quietly from Spinks and places like that back in the 60s and 70s. All these coins were in nice little old-time slides like they used to use in the early days of coin collecting before we had albums and that sort of thing. Quite nice. I've saved them. This is another one from the collection of George II, 2 guineas 1738 with the young head. So when people thought I couldn't have a good sale, we've pulled it off again. I'm working on the next one already, doing part 4 of 3. And I've got a couple of consignments. One chap showed me some coins which were really quite spectacular. His father had bought. So I hope that comes through. So that's a 1740. Now that didn't come from Frank Wiener's collection, that came from another estate collection where the coins had been bought from Jaggard years and years ago. And included this 2 guineas and a £5 of 1887 and a Cromwell silver crown.
What date is that? Can you read it?
1740,
40.
40, the old head. They call it the intermediate Lorette head left. I must feel that this is slightly older looking old head. They call that intermediate. Whereas this guinea of 1758 is old head. And the next one I'm showing is this £2 piece of George IV. There are 2 in the sale. This one's from Frank Wiener's collection, lot 1618. Good, extremely fine. Interesting, this coin, because it's the first £2 piece to be issued, actually into circulation. It's got a lettered edge instead of a milled edge. So it's got a legend on the edge like one of the early silver crowns. Bare head of the king left. Then there's a Jubilee head, £5, 1887. That's from that Jagar's collection. As is this £2. You're not going to sleep, are you, John?
No. It's remarkable all these items.
They turn up occasionally, those 5. You realise now that that's 5 sovereigns, and sovereigns have got about $1,100 worth of gold in them. This is a scarcer one. This is the old head, £5, 1893. Chap bought it in our sale number 77. And it's estimated at 6,500 because they're much scarcer. And it's in nice condition.
How much gold's in that?
5 sovereigns. So it's about 40 grand.
That's it, yeah.
Sovereigns are 7.98 grand.
Well over an ounce.
Yeah, you could do worse than buy all these gold coins. I mean, it may come back gold in price a bit, but it might also go surging forward quite a lot.
I don't think it's coming back anytime soon.
Who knows, who knows. Gold has gone through periods where it hasn't done anything for 10 years.
Yeah.
This is unusual, I think, what we're seeing at the moment.
Well, Trump's wanting us all to invest in Bitcoin, but I'd never remember the code to get my money.
Yeah.
Would any of you remember your code?
No, that's the problem if you lose it.
And what if you store it and someone finds it and
Yeah.
takes your money? It's a worry, isn't it? You're better off with gold, really, when you think about it. It's always cash, always money, gold. None of us can have as much gold as Ross has got.
I wish.
Oh, and
George is the one with the gold. He keeps very calm and quiet about it.
He has it all in $200 coins.
Well, I found a box out the back, empty box with written on it, 86 $200 coins, longer bloke, that we must have sold. Because I remember selling a lot of them at $204 each, because they had $160 worth of gold. One day I got so sick of them, I said, I'm paying, that's all I can pay, $160. That's the gold value. I bought a $200 foot, $160.
Did you sleep that night?
Yeah, of course I did. I thought What do you do with it? You took it to the bank, they'd laugh at you. Get away. That's but it's legal currency. Oh no. Someone told me some of those mint sets that the mint put out, limited issue proof sets in gold, one of them's worth about 20,000 in gold now. 3 ounces or something. Nearly over 5 ounces or something like that. Anyway, another £2 piece. This time, this one's George V proof. 5,000. Nice coin, isn't it?
Yep.
But before the war.
That has a milled edge, but his son George VI, he issued a set of 4 gold coins for the coronation, 1937, and the £2 from that collection. Again, this time it's got a plain edge. It's estimated at 5,000. But the irony of the situation is a lot of people collect sovereigns more than they collect these other denominations. And so the sovereign itself is half the weight of the £2. It's also a proof with a plain edge, only issued that way. But it's estimated at 6,000, and when I sold a collection recently, we sold one for 10,000. They're ever popular. But you've got to get these coins without imperfections and scratches and things like that. So that's the end of the British gold. It's worth pursuing. We've got a few hammered silver coins. This is all happening on the Wednesday night. I thought I'd show you a pattern crown of Charles I, which you can snap up, made by Thomas Rawlins. See the little scratches that are showing up in the field? People rub coins, do naughty things to them. Coins are best left alone, aren't they?
Yep.
That's a pattern Oxford crown. It's estimated at $800. Why? Because it's an electrotype. Well, I think it's an electrotype. It's called an electrotype. Couldn't see a joiner in there. I'm going to show you that. That's the king riding his horse like the city view towers of Europe over the city of Oxford. Pity they didn't issue that coin, eh, David? I have had the original. I have sold one. Not in auction though. That's one that I did own decades ago. Sold in a 1975 auction. It's a Newark siege coin.
How many more coins you got to go there, Jim? I'll duck outside and get them up more.
Yeah, I've got only probably be another 20 minutes.
Fair enough.
You don't have to put the kettle on just yet.
No.
Well, I've gone through all those, and I've got just those to go, and I'll go pretty quickly. But Rodney goes slowly. Because he's got to show both sides. And he's more interested in the YouTube presentation, which has now got a following of about 25 million, I believe.
But there is a following. There is a following, and they're not all ANS members.
I know. You do a great job, Rodney.
There's a lot of people who are very interested in the stuff you show and the history you talk about.
Well, that was a coin of Charles I's royalists when the Civil War was going on in Newark. And of course the man who conquered and had Charles executed is Oliver Cromwell. And this is his pattern crown by Thomas Simon. So it always has a die crack on it, almost invariably.
Oliver Cromwell, warts and all.
Yeah. Not a bad specimen. It came from Jagard's little portfolio years ago. 3,500 is the estimate. Now this one is the piece de resistance. It's a petition crown by Thomas Simon. The leather edge and all. The estimate on this is $1 million. A really good one sold for over $1 million recently. I sold one I had for about 150,000 or some crazy price. This is Norway's one. But this is a beautiful quality British Museum electrotype which has the leaded edge, the appeal by Simon to the King, asking His Majesty to consider this, if this fine enough, to make him the chief engraver. I mean, he was already recognised as pretty famous, Thomas Simon, but he wasn't favoured by the King, maybe. Reuter.
1663.
One of my customers' names, Michael Reuter. He came in the other day for a catalogue. It's been around forever. So we skip a few interesting English coins, a few nice bulk lots, and Carnamark George III's. And we come to Queen Victoria Gothic Crown from Frank Williams' collection. Nearly uncirculated. Its estimate is 6,000. Such an admired coin, it's hard to get them untouched. That's the leaded edge one. Excuse me yawning. I haven't had much sleep lately, things have been happening that stop me from sleeping. This is a plain edge Gothic crown. Now this they used to call a proof in the old days, and the other ones they just call uncirculated or whatever. And only the plain edge ones were proofs. Now the grading services call all Gothic crowns proofs. So the definition has definitely changed. I still submit that the normal Gothic crowns were like Waitangi crowns, they were specimens, not proofs. And the proofs were specially struck in fine silver and they have certain ones. But this is not a perfect one, but it's still it's got a reverse rim cut at 2 o'clock, which is interesting, which is a feature.
But the proofs had a special clancy though too, didn't they?
Yeah. See the rim cut at 2 o'clock on the reverse? You can point it out, Rodney. No, the rim. On the rim. No, lift the coin up the other way. Up. No, there, see on the left. It's about 7 o'clock, but you'll weigh the coins in the bag. It's not 2 o'clock, but that's interesting. You wouldn't think a coin like that would have that problem, would you? Rated as a plain edge proof. What's your answer to that, Rodney?
I don't care.
There's an honest answer, isn't it? Doesn't care. That's typical.
If I wanted it,
That's why I get frustrated
I would
in
get
this
it.
business. People. Why do we tolerate them?
Haven't got much.
I've got here an interesting Scottish coin. Yeah, this one. 1769. It's a countermark dollar. It's in my collection but didn't get into the sale. And it's issued by a man called John Wilson, a coal merchant in a place called Hurlet in Renfrewshire in Scotland. It's very rare, and it was from a Jess Peters sale in 1973, and it's the one illustrated in Kraus Mishler. The actual piece. It's got the interesting triangle mark with 3 punch holes, which is a strange feature of the coin. Additional 3-dot triangle countermark. Manville discusses it. It's coin number 5 of 10 known. Estimate's 2,000. Now this next one's a very interesting token. I couldn't resist it. It came up in a sale in London because it was bought into one of our sales. It was the front cover of my token collection in 1998, sale 58. That wasn't the side that was on the cover, the other side was a man working in a loom. It's a sort of a combination of Nottingham and Shropshire, Donald and Company, pattern halfpenny. Lot 1771. It's from the J.R. Farnell collection. He was collecting tokens as soon after they were issued. And it was in my sale in 1998 and then came up in a D&W sale in 2011. I think Alan Davison bought it originally in my sale. Anyway, interesting, isn't it?
Mm.
There is a collection of assorted minting medals, checks, canteen medals and that in the sale in the Mark Freehill collection, which includes a lovely piece by Salter and Pine and Company from, to the Abdul Rahman Amir of Afghanistan. Interesting coin. That's in the sale. After the medallions, we go to the next day, 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, and we offer the late Jack Grace collection of Australian fobs and medals, and it's in 4 sessions. There's about 700 of them, mostly in gold. And his daughter Deirdre did a book for him on them, illustrating it. Nice private production. And this is a unique collection, come on the market in one go, and a great opportunity. And there are some interesting historical ones. John O'Connor spent a lot of time cataloguing it. He wanted to illustrate nearly every one of them. I said, I'd have a book a mile thick if you illustrated it. Just cut it down a bit. It's, I mean, people can request images, and we can do them. But since the sale's so close, although we're busy today doing requests on banknotes and things. So what I'm going to show out of the collection is a really important one for cricket lovers. There's a cricket section, and lot 1994. All with interesting designs and whatever. Lot 1994 is a Sheffield Shield prize medal in gold, 1897, awarded to M.A. Noble. And then another one awarded in 1903-4. So there's 3 medals in the lot, all to M.A. Noble, whom the cricket ground in Sydney stand got the M.A. Noble stamp. It's my namesake, but not a relative, but he was pretty impressive. And the 3 a gold content, you know, pretty close to that estimate. Because there's 2 15-carat ones that weigh 20 grams, so that's about 16 or 1700, and then a 9-carat one. Yeah, it's about $2,000 worth of gold in them. So you should buy that one. Well, I should, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should.
With what money shall I buy it?
It says by Blashkin and Son. Who's Blashkin?
Melbourne jeweller.
These are the sort of things that the Melbourne Cricket Ground have got a big collection of. This all this memorabilia and the sports.
Well, I don't know if they've got a lot of these.
No, but that sort of thing, you know, sports,
Yeah.
anything to do with sports, especially if you played at the MCG.
So the
1995 here.
1995 is at a Sheffield Shield, 2 medals won by E.L. Waddy, Edgar Lloyd Waddy. It was 1879 to 1963. So he was a famous cricketer. in Australia against New Zealand in 1914. He was in the real estate business in Rose Bay, Sydney, with his brother, the Reverend E.F. Waddy. See, I should have got into real estate, that's where they were. The last one is one awarded to J. Worrell. Worrell was a member of the Victorian 11 cricket team that played a series of games against Lord Sheffield's English team. Yeah. Interesting stuff. That's estimated at 900. The previous one was estimated at 840. So that's all I'm showing you of that. Collection goes right through, and then the night session is banknotes, and we'll come to them. Well, I didn't show any banknotes. There's world banknotes at 7:30 at night, followed by Australian banknotes, all in one session, both pre-decimal and decimal. Then we go on the next morning for those early risers for the ancient collectors, and Colin says he'll be there at the session. He's got to get in and sit to the ancients. It starts on the Friday at 9:30. The first coin I'm showing is lot 2848, which is a silver coin of Naples, Neapolis. A nomus, they call it, a silver nomus. Weighs 7.26 grams. Pleasing toning. It's from the Money Museum collection in Zurich and then a CNG Triton sale. Okay, so it's estimated at 2,500. Very nice quality. Nice man-headed bull there. With Nike, known as Victory in the Roman times, Nike flying over the bull. The next one is the similar obverse, a nomos. This time they say it's the head of Demeter, and on the reverse is an ear of barley. It's from Metapontum. Their coins had a barley. Each Greek city had a symbol for its coins. Lovely condition. This one comes from Numismatic Ars Classica and the New York auction. So pretty good stuff. I mean, I could show you more of the ancients. I just thought I'd select a few you haven't seen before. This piece here, lot 2862, is the islands off Epirus, is Corcyra, or Corcyra, silver stater. This one's from the New York sale and the Locket collection. And a massive estimate on it of 11,000. So it's a really outstanding piece. High relief with the cow standing left, head turned back, with a calf suckling to the right, and a mother calf, a cow, a calf. All cows are mothers, I guess, or female. Anyway.
So why the big estimate for?
I don't know. It's important, obviously. High grade. It was in the New York sale. The Prospero collection.
Because it's on the island of Corfu, or?
No, it's Corcyra, islands off Epirus. And it's from the Prospero collection, remember that?
No.
That was a collection, that famous collection, brought millions that Baldwin's presented. Fabulous collection. I think it was in New York anyway. And then it was in our sale 123. It was probably bought by Del Parker, that's why it's got IS. Anyway, dear Del rang me the other day. I thought, hello, you're alive. Lives in Georgia or somewhere. This is an interesting one, 2863. Carrier Islands off Rhodes, Tetradrachm. So it's 400 BC. It's from Triton. It's a, kind of a grey toning, granular surface, but very high relief, very interesting. Very interesting.
The little sphinx is nice.
Yeah, little sphinx. Yeah.
The next coin's a very rare coin of Agena, 520 BC. They can be
Turtles.
priced for guessing who wrote the coin holder there.
The Geno turtles.
It's in one of the references, this coin, Colin catalogue, this coin, a couple of times in the big write-up, estimate 3,000, so. This coin here is interesting again with an interesting 2x2 handwritten ticket, which we all know the handwriting. This is a very high relief coin of Aeolus, Marina, the city. Silver tetradrachm, high relief head of Apollo, of Grinion. So very interesting, extremely fine and rare ex-Bunker Hunt collection. Beautiful high relief. The Greek coins are much better than the Roman coins this time. You could put the T on now if you want to, Tony. Because I've only probably got...
I'm going to the water.
Oh, okay. Only got 5 minutes to go at the most. Yeah. 2914 is a Ptolemy the Fourth copper dram. It's quite large, nice glossy brown patina. The tag's identified it as Ptolemy the Third, but it's not, it's Ptolemy the Fourth. Very hard with Ptolemaic coins. Sometimes there's a symbol or a date, way of dating them. So 2949, we've got some antiquities at the end after the ancients and some numismatic literature and stamps. Stamps. Not much good in the stamps this time. This is a lovely Roman coin for a patina, a coin of Marcus Aurelius, a Sestertius, and it's graded as nearly full flam, extremely fine or better. Lovely green black patina, beautiful. Estimates 1800 as a result.
When we talk about patina, I know coins that you can put in different kinds of plastic bags can, if they're in there long enough, get patina if you want to.
Toning.
Is that not on, is it?
It's like toning. Yeah, patina,
It just
it forms on the surface of
Yes.
it. Yeah. I mean, when they're old like this and they're bronze coins and they don't deteriorate, that gets quite precious, the patina, if it's not broken.
Yes.
Another slab here.
Desirable. Oh, that's the one I was looking for. That's the Hong Kong, you can show. It's the Hong Kong 1941 5 cents, which is quite rare. Again, it's like wartime loss, scarcity.
Heaton or King's Norton.
Yeah. It's like, I'll tell you what it is. You can see it on the coin if you get the image.
Under the N. Looks like a Heaton mint.
What's the what number? 1227.
1227. Yeah, it's a Heaton mint. The King's Norton is harder to find. But both of them are listed as less than 100 known.
Yeah. It's
I
from
only
the
had two of them.
Wa Shi Wong collection sale. So that was a collection, I think, I didn't get the catalogue, but I think it was sold by Stax. The recent times of famous collection. So Stephen Turner's gone out of his way to buy that one. Give him the other ones back. Now we haven't finished because the last two sessions of the auction are devoted to the market, and they are two, as I said, 11:30 on the Friday, and then at 2:30 his collection of banknotes. It starts with Palestine, and then goes through to Egypt, and then goes through to Sudan, the Siege of Khartoum notes. He has quite a good little collection of those. Interesting ones, some from old packets, printed signature, autograph signature. You know, it's interesting what goes on with those. It took me a bit to work out how to understand them. Tony James has put articles in recently about these sort of things. And then we go to South Africa, got pieces from the Cape of Good Hope and etc. And early Boer War notes, including siege notes. And I've got here a siege note. This is what 3100, the Siege of Mafeking, 1900. You can show that if you want it on here. It's interesting because it's on that blue paper.
These are not from Mark for a Hill, are they?
Yes,
They are.
yeah, this is all. Didn't you hear what I said?
No, I was asleep.
Told you not to go to sleep.
Mafeking has been relieved.
Yes, he had a remarkable collection.
The 3176 is another highlight of his collection. And you know, when I did his East Africa, oh, he's got a few nice ones. I didn't realise he had a whole lot more, and I've just catalogued them
British East Africa.
on the weekend. This is the
Florins.
10 florins or £1.
Yep.
Mombasa, 1920. And it's very fine and rare, really quite nice. He bought it in our sale 98, it's estimated at 8,000.
Wow.
I mean, it's a big note, it's a rare note.
Never seen 10 florins before, ever.
No. It's a £1 note virtually.
If you're collecting East Africa, there were several different sections. Like there was the florin pound, and then they went on to the rupees,
Yeah,
and then there was Mombasa was the area it was in, and then it went to Nairobi.
yes, right.
Yeah,
Yes, Rodney's got it right. He's collected British Commonwealth notes.
I used to have a nice collection of British East Africa.
Well, there are a lot I catalogued on the weekend, so look for the next sale for the rest of the East Africa. But he's got some really good ones here. I mean, one of the ones here, which I didn't show you, is for 1,000 shillings or £50. But it's got all these holes drilled in it because it's a specimen.
It's cancelled, yeah.
Still $3,000.
Government of the Seychelles.
The bloke who collected Mauritius from our last sale collects Seychelles, so I'm showing this one. I hope he watches your YouTube. It's one of the rare wartime ones. What number?
3265.
Yeah. I mean, Seychelles.
It's one that wasn't in my collection.
It's a good collection of Seychelles. Really good. These two early ones are World War One emergency issues, and this one's for ₹1. He's got one for 50 cents, and one for ₹1, issued from Mahe in the Seychelles, 1919, and it's estimated at 3,000. It's embossed with the coat of arms, so it's not. I mean, it's pretty good nick for what it was. And there's one for World War II as well that he had. And that other notes, I didn't want to show you a lot of notes, but that's the end of the presentation.
Wow.
Just before you present that,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I've got to collect these. I've got a special folder for them now.
Your collector's
You
item.
need a special
I
folder.
thought you were using wallpaper.
I'm trying to get out of things and people keep giving me this stuff. I've got the society medals. I've got them on display for safety. I've got them in display in the display cabinet, including my gold medal, which was not made of gold, incidentally.
Thank you, Dave.
My duty to present you, Jim, with yet another.
I'll try
to
and
your-
stand up
add to
after
your
sitting
collection.
down all that time.
That's all right. We need to be careful. Do I need to get round the other side? Yes.
Come
right.
around that side.
Yeah, stay there. Stay there. I'll
It's
get
quite.
round.
I better look respectable.
You go there now.
That's all right. I
Yeah,
know.
it's fully on.
So here we are, Jim.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for
Thank-
that. And
thank you,
we'll let
thank you. Thank you,
Rod take
David.
his
I'll
photo.
put the,
Show
Show
the
this way,
certificate.
That's right.
yeah, show the certificate.
Took me all of 10 minutes to make it.
Oh, what a good on you.
Anyway,
Yeah,
we
thanks, David, yeah.
a good presentation. Really enjoyed that.
Okay,
I must
good.
say, I think we all did.
Good.
Loved it.
Happy to do it. I thought about it. I thought I'm
Really
tired.
lovely-
What am I going to do?
lovely,
Oh,
lovely
okay.
items.
I ate some Chinese vegetables left over from last night's dinner. I said I'll take those in. And they're getting caught in my teeth. I wish I had my floss. But very healthy. I could become a vegetarian,
Very good.
but I won't.
Very good.
You enjoy it, Ross?
So when's the viewing?
Pity you missed the start. It's 3 million the estimate. The viewing started already. It starts on Wednesday. The sale's on in a week's time.
He saw enough to buy.
Nobody comes, but the person that comes will get the buys. Come into the room and
Make me look
Question I want to ask you: Who wants tea? Anybody want tea? Everybody have coffee, will I?
Yeah,
good. Coffee would be lovely.
Oh, right.
I'll pass.
Coffees. Black.
If you like, Tony, we can all come in and just make our own.
That's what I thought I was going to ask you too.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's not
Yes,
too
sir.
many of you. And
We got a
You,
different
I'll-
set.
I'll
you just
spend
set
my
it
time
up and
putting things
we'll come in
away.
and make our own.
having got them out. But at least that fan keeps it a bit cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, otherwise it's very still in there.
Can get a bit steamy.
Now don't forget to look at the paintings and put a bid on them.
Okay.